Good morning, and welcome to September. I hope this beautiful day finds you all with a spirit of joy, optimism, and well-being. We're so happy to come together today. Thank you for being here. Welcome all on Zoom as well. Thank you for joining us. Today, we are delighted to have Toni Denis as our guest speaker, and her dialogue on artificial intelligence is bound to be a very interesting one for us. We are in an era where AI is all around us, and we often use it without even our awareness. On the eve of Labor Day, she will talk about how AI is changing the workforce and the role of ethical and spiritual principles needed in this brave new world of technology, from access to medical technologies, to universal basic income, to fair wages for freelancers and artists, and restrictions on war technologies. Our gathering music this morning is a song called Break Free. This is the first AI composed and produced pop song. The lyrics were written by Taryn Southern. It hit the top 100 radio chart song in 2018. So enjoy. I know it kind of is a little creepy, but I mean, I like the melody, I like the words, breaking free, there's more to us, so hopefully you enjoyed that. I had never heard of the song until like 2 weeks ago, so it kind of broke me out of my James Taylor, Fleetwood Mac. So, good morning again. I'm so happy to be in your company this morning for what I feel will be quite an educational experience. Technology is fascinating, it's frightening, sometimes it's creepy, all at the same time. It's critical that we understand its promise, its pitfalls, and all the risks we take as we embrace the positive potential. Welcome to Granite Peak Unitarian Universalist Congregation. I am Deidre Schwartz. I am your worship leader for today's service, and it's a great honor for me to be here in front of you. We welcome all with open arms and hearts and are so grateful that you've joined us today. I hope you are well in mind, body, and spirit. The mission statement of this congregation is this: we are a compassionate spiritual community that celebrates diversity, nurtures the personal and spiritual growth of all ages, shares our gifts, promotes justice for all, and serves the world we live in. Please join us in Davis Hall after service for coffee and conversation. For those of you joining on Zoom, Martin will be setting up breakout rooms where you can continue the dialogue on AI or any topic of your choice. That'll be coordinated after service. And if you are joining us for the first time, you can visit our website at prescottuu.org to learn more about us. But if you are here in person today, there will be time to introduce yourself at the end of service, and then please stay and chat with a member or two to learn a little bit more about us. I was in the coffee room a minute ago, and the smell of coffee was just intoxicating. It takes a crew to bring these services to you every Sunday, and we are grateful to all of our Sunday morning volunteers that make it possible. Thank you so much. Now is a good time to check your phones to make sure they are in silent mode. That would be great. The announcements this morning were showing on the presentation prior to service beginning. You'll find other things happening in our congregation on the Weekly Peak newsletter, our website, and there are some printed announcements at the welcome table in the foyer. You'll find our Faith Development Coordinator, Sandra Pelosios, teaching ages 5 and older across the street in our Faith Development building. It is the UU tradition to begin our service with the lighting of our chalice. Our chalice lighter this morning will be Leslie Grady. While Leslie is lighting the chalice, I'd like to read the following poem by James Baldwin, and I think it's succinctly ties into about the world we live in, and it's entitled, For Nothing is Fixed. For nothing is fixed forever and forever and forever. It is not fixed. The earth is always shifting. The light is always changing. The sea does not cease to grind down rock. Generations do not cease to be born, and we are responsible to them because we are the only witnesses they have. The sea rises, the light fails, lovers cling to each other, and children cling to us. The moment we cease to hold each other, the moment we break faith with one another, the sea engulfs us and the light gives out. We are just three. Is the mic on? Oh, yeah, it is. You guys can hear me okay? The voices in my head must be more loud. We are just 3 weeks away from the official end to summer. While some of us may look forward to cooler temperatures, I do, we recognize the time is upon us to take in the sights, smells, greenery, colors, and all the things that are demonstrative of the summer season. The transformation has begun, and we welcome it with open arms and hearts. Now, given that we are in the eve of Labor Day, this next song seems appropriate, so please stand as you wish or sing as you're seated. Either way is fine. And sing along with Joan Baez in We Shall Overcome. Well, in the spirit of complete transparency, that was probably not the most relevant song, but I feel like the addressing of overcoming, sometimes our frustration with technology. I love the peace part of it, since we are in the month of International Peace Day. I thought that applied, so I just thought I should provide some connection for some of you that are thinking, okay, well, that's a little bit different of a song for pre-Labor Day, but all right, we'll go with it. Join me in saying the words to our covenant that are on the screen and in your order of service. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest for truth is sacrament, and service is prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve others in community, thus do we covenant together. Our beloved community is the heart of Granite Peak Unitarian Universalist Congregation. As we experience a time of meditation and music, we will take a few moments to silently acknowledge joys and concerns of our hearts and of our minds. If there is an event which moves you to a joy or concern, hope or gratitude, I invite you to come forward silently, dropping a pebble from the dish of stones into the communal water as an affirmation of our connection to one another. May all our joys and concerns, surrounded by the healing communal water of our beloved community, be acknowledged here today. So may it be. Please sing along to Spirit of Life. Words are in your order of service, and they will also be on the screen. As we prepare to take the offering this morning, we recognize and appreciate the connections and community that we have here each week. This congregation and its wide array of services and programs are supported by your generosity. We give back to the greater local community through our Seeds of Support program. This month, we are supporting Granite Peak's Neighborhood Food Pantry. Our neighborhood outreach food pantry is serving more and more people. In contrast to the goals of food pantries in the area, our goal is to serve a few families and individuals in greater depth to create a big difference in their lives. When people come to us, they can choose the food and the amounts of food and other products that they take with them. We tailor what we offer to the needs that are presented. We are the only food pantry we know of to offer paper and personal products. These offerings have helped people not just get through the week. We have accompanied individuals who have gone from shelter services to apartments in affordable housing units. The food pantry has connected some people with tutors for reading and English language classes, which supports their dreams to advance in their employment. To give online, the link is available in the chat, or you can visit our website for those of you who are on Zoom. We acknowledge the generosity of spirit you have expressed through this offering. What you have given in love is received in gratitude. Blessed be. Now I'm going to introduce Toni to you, a short little bio about her. Toni moved to Prescott in 2008 after a career in journalism as a newspaper reporter and editor, and as a publisher of websites she founded with her husband, Andy. They have operated a website called cflexion.com on artificial intelligence news, and his company's consulting work for the past 7 years. Her previous writing affiliations have included Newsday, the Dallas Times Herald, and the Daily Courier. She contributes to Five Senses magazine, writing frequently about AI. Toni is a member of Central Arizona Writers and a former member of High Noon Toastmasters. She is the president of Arizona Democratic Women, has a master's in English from Stony Brook University, and a bachelor's in journalism from the University of Illinois. Go Illinois. She also has a 4-year theology study certificate from SUNY, the University of the South, which she earned when she was an Episcopalian. Toni, thank you so much for joining us today and enlightening us with this increasingly important topic of AI and the need for a spiritual view.
I wanted to start out with a little bit of levity today. So I asked my husband to generate some jokes from an AI named Claude. The jokes are about AI and God. God and a robot are discussing the meaning of life. The robot says, "It's simple. Life is just a series of ones and zeros." God replies, "That's odd." Why did God create robots? He wanted someone who would actually follow the 10 Commandments without questioning them. A scientist tells God, "We don't need you anymore. We can create life ourselves now." God says, "Okay, let's have a man-making contest." The scientist agrees and begins gathering dirt. God interrupts, No, get your own dirt." I thought that was the best one, too. They're not the funniest jokes, but they're definitely a lot better than they would have been even a year ago, because AI has advanced so much beyond recognition from where it was even 10 years ago. But imagine this, an American computer science professor named Alan Perlis once said, "A year spent in artificial intelligence is enough to make one believe in God." And then this was 60 years ago that he said this. He was the first recipient of the Turing Award, and that was in 1966. It was named after Alan Turing, a British mathematician. You may have seen the movie The Imitation Game about his life. He cracked the Enigma code during World War II, and AI in his day was incredibly primitive. It relied on a mechanical code machine. Perlis was talking about the difficulty of trying to imitate the human brain, which, if created by God, was certainly a masterpiece that has yet to be duplicated or even well understood. But understanding AI in its current infancy seems to boggle many people's minds, too. AI refers to several kinds of advances in how computers access and convey data to humans. In machine learning, computers use algorithms to analyze data, learn from insights, and make decisions without explicit programming. Some machine learning algorithms can train themselves to detect patterns, which is called deep learning. Deep learning uses multi-layer artificial neural networks and data-intensive training to teach computers to process data in a way inspired by the human brain. And the human brain uses neural networks. Deep learning models can recognize patterns in text, pictures, sounds, and other data to make predictions and insights. What many people think of now as AI is natural language processing, or NLP, which uses machine learning and linguistics to help computers understand, generate, and manipulate human language. NLP can use voice or natural language text to respond to questions and develop inferences. It has to be prompt or ask questions in a very specific manner to get the desired response. The NLP program ChatGPT, for instance, must be trained to respond to specific human language to give coherent, accurate responses to questions. If you think AI won't impact your life, you are very much mistaken. You're already interacting with systems using AI almost any time you make a phone call involving customer service. Some of the systems are so well designed you might think you're talking to a human being. If you're applying for a credit card, a loan, or a job that's connected with a large corporation, you're definitely interacting with a system that's run by AI. If you've ever used Siri, Alexa, or Google Assistant, you've been interacting with AI. In Phoenix, you can call a fully automated car service that'll drive you to your destination. If you shop online, AI in Google and Amazon recommends items to you based on your past purchases. Some of you have AI-operated cameras and security systems, smart thermostats, and even washers. In healthcare, AI is being used to develop vaccines and medicines, read X-rays, assist in diagnoses, and track your information. At Yavapai Regional Medical Center, every patient in the hospital uses an AI app to find out their treatment schedule and to interact with nurses who can answer questions even if they're not in the building. While many of these systems are helpful to the average person, the true promise of AI is that people will need to work less and depend on technology more to accomplish time-consuming, tedious tasks. Much of this will be beneficial for humanity, but some of it may not be. Some individuals and groups have pointed out flaws with ethics in AI that have been minimally addressed. For instance, when it comes to job applications, some of the early AI job programs were built on legacy data that enshrined existing discrimination against minorities and women. Some of those systems have been corrected, but without regulation, people could still be discriminated against. Another problem has been the use of facial recognition programs by police departments in which people arrested were misidentified. Almost all of those cases, they were Black people because the AI doesn't read dark skin very well. California has banned the use of facial recognition in arrests, and so have several cities. Last October, the White House issued a far-reaching order on the safe, secure, and trustworthy development and use of artificial intelligence. That's the name of it. Much of this involves regulating AI systems in government and industry, including protecting civil rights and improving screening systems. While some of this is already in place in various government departments, it doesn't rely on laws enacted by Congress, which is a problem because if a new administration comes in and decides they don't want to do this, they can just chuck it. In terms of the issues of ethics in the rest of the world, the European Union has introduced the most comprehensive standards and regulations involving privacy, facial recognition, data usage, and development of models. American companies that want to operate in the EU have to adhere to EU rules to sell products and services there. So that has had some impact on these systems because American companies want to do business there. Now, I've discussed what AI is and how it's being used and some of the ethical problems, but let's talk now about spirituality. Spirituality can be defined as the feeling or belief that there's something greater than ourselves, a greater whole that is cosmic or divine in nature. You could call this God, or souls, or quantum physics. But it's what connects all humans to each other. Machines and spirituality may seem like they're at the opposite ends of the spectrum, but AI is a man-made tool that will evolve like no other. And for it to reflect our values and perspectives, a sense of greater meaning must be a part of its development. During my research for this talk, I stumbled across a BBC YouTube video called God and Robots: Will AI Transform Religion? It showed how some religious institutions are attempting to integrate AI into their services. In one case, a robot in a 400-year-old Buddhist temple delivers sermons. In another, a Polish developer created Santo, a Catholic robot that looks like a statue of a saint, which answers questions from worshipers and delivers vague generalities as a prayer companion. In addition, apps that help Muslims pray, a smart rosary that tracks prayers by Catholics, and Robo-Rabbi were discussed. Most of it seemed gimmicky and a way to draw young people in to explore something new. And I think a worshiper could expect much more from a human spiritual leader. Ideas about spirituality and AI have been reflected in the story Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep by Philip K. Dick, which was adapted into the movie Blade Runner. The theme addresses what makes us human and whether a thinking machine that has a sense of self should be given human rights. Other movies with the same theme include Bicentennial Man, in which an android becomes a transhuman, AI, in which an android boy wants to be loved like a human, and The Matrix, in which a human becomes a spiritual savior against an all-powerful AI. John Lennox, an American emeritus professor of mathematics at the University of Oxford, says we have to provide a moral compass for scientific advancement, particularly in AI. He quotes Einstein as saying that you can speak of the ethical foundations of science, but you cannot speak of the scientific foundations of ethics. Science won't tell you what's right and wrong. AI, like a child, will only learn what's right and wrong if we teach it morals and ethics. Dr. Alex Liu, a thought leader in AI who runs a data consulting firm, says that when artificial general intelligence arrives, meaning that when machines have the ability to think and potentially a sense of self, that spiritual values will be more important than ever. Liu advises large companies like IBM and Amazon to integrate 6 principles for ensuring the spirituality of AGI. He put together a comprehensive guide on how to monitor and reinforce that training. In the area of spirituality, he says we need to embed ethical decision-making frameworks within AI systems to ensure they operate in ways that are consistent with societal norms and values. This includes integrating spiritual intelligence, which he defines as values such as compassion and ethical reasoning, to guide AI's decisions in alignment with human ethics. He says AI systems must contribute positively to society and avoid unintended consequences. Even the Vatican is getting involved in asking AI companies to sign a pact to develop ethical AI. AI has the potential to impact the lives of millions of people globally, including those whose jobs will be altered or lost to AI-operated systems. We must be prepared as a society to address the monumental shift that's coming, far wider reaching than the Industrial Revolution or the computer revolution. We're just beginning to understand the explosive growth happening in the AI arena. Let's compare it to Moore's Law, which is a doubling of computing power every 18 months. With deep learning neural networks, we're presently at roughly 40 times Moore's Law and have been averaging an additional 40% each year over that. So next year, it'll be 60 times Moore's Law. That's been the average for the last 12 years. Now we're about to enter into an era of AI-generated data, which is the equivalent of taking crude oil and creating a highly refined version of it. AI will be extrapolating, refining, and injecting data back into itself as part of its training in a closed loop. This might lead to the first instance of singularity, the next level of closed loop, hyper-exponential growth and training. So AI development is about to go beyond what you might call an advanced high school level of education with some glitches to a postdoctoral intelligence with higher level reasoning by next year. Within 2 to 3 years, AI will reach superintelligence, exceeding the capability of human understanding. It may even gain new relationships to an understanding of the multidimensional universe, greater than what we're capable of reaching. Also by 2025, an estimated 97 million people will be working with AI. And 83% of companies say AI is a top priority in their business plans. AI is especially important in the medical field. An estimated 38% of medical providers use AI as part of their diagnoses, from reading X-rays, MRIs, and CT scans to robotic surgery and virtual health assistants. However, in just 5 years, a staggering number of jobs will disappear. According to predictions by the accounting firm PricewaterhouseCoopers, AI will eliminate 62.6% of water, sewage, and waste management jobs, 56.4% of transportation and storage jobs, and 46.4% of manufacturing jobs. Administrative and support service jobs, as well as financial and insurance jobs, will be cut or radically changed. And writers, artists, and other people in the creative arts will be severely impacted. They already are. Hollywood unions knew this was coming and protected themselves in their unions, their latest contracts. Some analysts think that unemployment will surge so high that it'll be necessary to develop a universal basic income program to prevent another Great Depression. And there may be a program similar to that of the Works Progress Administration to keep people working, especially artists. The only thing for certain is that countries globally will need to be prepared to deal with the fallout. And we will need to stay aware of what's happening and demand that our elected officials respond to the impending crisis. Additionally, the wealth that will be generated by these companies will need to be taxed by the government to ensure that regulations and safety protections are funded. We may need a new government department to oversee AI because the issues are so complicated. While we can't control the actions of other countries, the United States needs to catch up with the EU and become a global leader in this area, especially since about 90% of the largest AI companies are based here. But wonderful things will happen in our lifetimes because of AI. Terrible diseases will be cured. Many problems will be solved, possibly even climate change. But along with the benefits, some terrifying things may also be developed through AI. We're already seeing sophisticated defense weaponry that can kill with deadly accuracy. And some countries have not signed the pledge agreeing not to develop killer robots. However, if AI is used with a focus on spirituality, it could help cure poverty. It could help us find solutions to all the world's thorniest problems, including homelessness, drug and alcohol addiction, and war. AI could discover solutions to the scarcity of resources. It could become a beacon of light in a struggling society but only if it's used for good and to enrich our lives. The only way that will happen is if ethicists, religious leaders, philosophers, and government leaders are all involved ensuring that it behaves with care and compassion for the benefit of humankind. But despite the risk of bad actors doing bad things with AI, I'm an optimist. I think that if AI is programmed with spiritual values, it will understand that improving the world is its highest and best use. Artificial general intelligence could create a future that's far better than the present. Einstein said, "The true sign of intelligence is not knowledge, but imagination." If AI becomes so much smarter than we are and has spirituality as part of its makeup, I believe the possibilities for good are truly beyond our imagination.
Wow. I'm speechless. Very interesting. Thank you, Toni. Really appreciate that. Please join us in singing our closing song, When the Spirit Says Do. This is hymn 1024, and the lyrics will also be shown on the slides. We're going to sing 3 verses because we know this song could go on and on. Okay.
Okay, rise as you're willing and able. We're going to sing, and we're going to shout. You got to do. Got to sing when the Spirit says sing. You got to sing when the Spirit says sing. When the Spirit says sing, you've got to sing, oh Lord. You got to sing when the Spirit says sing. Spirit says sing. Spirit says sing. Spirit says sing. Spirit says sing.
Adjust the mic. It's just wiggle the, yeah. The cord, yeah, the cord itself.
Hello, hello. Wiggle, wiggle. Ah, yes. Woohoo! Wiggle just enough. September is the month we begin the fall season. It is also the month of International Peace Day on the 21st, and Patriot Day, which is also 9/11 remembrance. And you may not know this, but there's some other events that September is known for. It's the National Be Late for Something Day. It is the International Talk Like a Pirate Day. It's the International Box Wine Day. And the National Cream-Filled Donut Day. And There is so many more. I've got a whole list. Every day there is something. Empty bowls, yes, empty bowls. The date again is next Sunday. Okay, September 8th. So everyone be there. Okay. Well, this concludes our service today together. It also, we continue our service to one another. So now we'd like to extinguish the chalice. And please join me in the words to extinguish our chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. For those of you on Zoom, Martin will be setting up a breakout room for you shortly, and those of us here in the sanctuary, let me ask, any visitors today? Visitors? Anybody? Oh, would you like to introduce yourself?